Howdy folks, Tetsu here, down in the lower tiers where the power is low, but the battles are fierce. And today I'll be continuing my self-proclaimed quest to archive all the battles during the first 7U tournament, which thereby I hope to bring light to the tier and possibly help it grow. So join me as we move on to the 11th match of Round 2. Our combatants this time will be Torchic against Dhdux. As per the norm, I know nothing about these players. Their skills shall be witnessed here today by myself and you the viewer. If you happen to enjoy the video, I humbly request you click that like button. Also, subscribe and click that bell if you want to be notified for later uploads. Working together, we can bring more attention to this fascinating metagame. With all that said, let's begin. Alright, match 11, game 1. Let's play. Lead metagame. Cure and Kumala end up sending out Tentacle, and the rap battle begins. Quick switch for Kumala to Ivysaur. And it looks like they're going to be doing a bit of wrapping for the time being, trying to get some of those power points down, which Ivysaur is a bit of an odd choice, I would say. I mean, granted, it will take a bit of damage for Tent to bring it down to Blizzard range, but because of Ivysaur's speed, it will be hit by Blizzard if it winds up if Tentacle ends up missing. Which it does at this point, but I'm assuming a sleep powder is going to be coming in. Yeah, and it misses. Oh no. Kumala is not in a good space right here. Tentacle gets hit with Blizzard too, and no freeze. A little bit of damage. And now Cure is going to be doing the Ivysaur Tent switch, it looks like, to try to drain those power points. A bit interesting. I'm not entirely sure. Is that optimal? I'm not 100% sure about that. I don't know. But Ivysaur does come back in this time, which it's incredibly low. Cure is going to bring in Meowth, and Tentacle is just going to be sacked from Kumala. Hitmonchan is now inside. Meowth goes for a substitute. Body Slam coming from Hitmonchan. And Cure decides to go for the slash. Another body change. And a crit takes Meowth out. Charmeleon being switched in for Rhyhorn to tank a Fire Blast. Ivysaur then tanks a Earthquake on the switch in. Rhyhorn being switched back into Ivysaur is then put to sleep. Cure goes for a Swords Dance as Charmeleon comes out from Kumala. And Fire Blast is tanked by the switched in Shelter. Slash also comes in, but it's not enough. And Surf comes in and does quite a bit of damage to Charmeleon. Rhyhorn is pretty much set to take Charmeleon out, but Hitmonchan is going to be inside. Rhyhorn, ouch, went for a substitute. Oh, and Kumala ends up making a prediction play. Instead of going for submission, goes for Body Slam, and Hitmonchan is taken out. Rhyhorn ended up getting switched out for Ivysaur when Meowth was out to keep it alive. Gosh dang it, this is going by way too fast. Cure's Ivysaur winds up going down to Charmeleon, and Rhyhorn gets hit with another Fire Blast. Rhyhorn gets put under a substitute. This is not good for Kumala. Charmeleon is taken out by Earthquake. Meowth comes in. Bubble Beam. Earthquake comes in. I'm saying that way too much. Bubble Beam takes out Rhyhorn. Tentacle. What? Why does everyone keep using Thunderbolt? Why? It is not a good idea. But both Meowth and Ivysaur are going to be taken out. Now, to be fair, I don't believe that Meowth actually had the KO there with Slash. But it is a bit strange seeing Thunderbolt used. Especially off Meowth's 40 special against Tentacle's 100. Super effective or not, that's not really doing a whole lot of damage. At any rate, let's go on to game 2. Let's play lead metagame. Ivysaur coming in for Cure this time with Charmeleon from Kumala. Tentacle is being switched in, of course. And Fire Spin with a quick PT to Ivysaur, but it wasn't a PT switch! Ivysaur tanking 2 blizzards! Oh dear, that is a rough start for Kumala. Voltorb coming in, goes for Thunder Wave. Ivysaur is switched in and winds up putting Charmeleon to sleep. Meowth coming in now from Cure, and it's going to do a ton of damage. Substitute on the Meowth, Slash. Substitute is going to be taken out by Surf, yes, alright. And Slash, as Tint, is obliterated. Oh dear. Kumala's Meowth is going to be doing some damage, and I'm assuming Cure is going to keep it in, yes. No real point switching in something else to take that damage. And Golbat coming in does double edge onto the entering Voltorb. And Voltorb and Golbat are both switched. Ivysaur ends up being switched into Beedrill. Charmeleon comes in and takes out Beedrill with 1 Fire Blast. And Kumala is just in the worst spot here. The first one seemed pretty close in a way, but this is fairly one-sided. Voltorb trying to get a Thunder to hit. One successfully does. An explosion goes off, and the sleeping Charmeleon is now at Cure's mercy. Oh boy. Well, GG indeed. Alright. Like I said, that first game looked pretty close, and this time it, yeah, alright. Moving on. So, what did we learn? PP stalling a partial trapping move is pretty standard, going back and forth between mons to both waste the move's uses and mitigate the damage done to a single mon. There are risks, of course. Each switch chances a miss of the move, and if the mon currently out is slower than the trapper, the player now has to decide to either switch, chance the PT move missing again, or tanking a hit to maybe do something to bring an advantage. In this case, Kumala had Ivy go for a sleep turn. Didn't work out this time, but it was worth a shot. Learning when to / when not to sack a mon for advantage is very important. Having Tent go down after a bad switch allowed for Hitmonchan to be brought in against Meowth without issue. Likewise, Meowth being sacked after getting a good hit brought Charmeleon in to possibly clean up the much slower mon. Boosting a stat down here is always risky. Knowing your damage ranges is important. Getting clever with your predictions, while cool when they work, can oftentimes lead to poor choices. I find Thunder missing twice amusing. Now with the battle over, Torchic will be heading on to the winner's bracket, while Dhdux will be heading down to the LB with their first elimination. We'll be catching up with them later, I'm sure. And if you happen to have made it this far into the video, what'd you think of the new format? Let me know down in the comments. And if you'd like to get in on 7U, I'll have all the necessary links down in the description, from the Discord all the way to the Resource Hub. If you want to check out the playlist for the rest of the 7U tournament, I'll also have a link down there as well, along with Big Yellow's video. Until next time, everybody, take care. Bye!